I got a great cop speak here. Chris Demm introduced us to that term a few years ago.
I love it.
Where a police officer describes something that's happened.
As only an officer can.
Yes. This is an officer in Canada because...
Ooh, bonus.
A Canadian police officer. There was an escaped kangaroo from a zoo in Ottawa that punched another police officer in the face as they tried to grab the...
That's what they do.
Offending kangaroo.
They punch, and then they kick.
Was it yesterday you said what animal, because somebody had been attacked by a bison. He was rubbing the bison, and the bison gored him to the point where he had a lacerated liver. Mm-hmm. And he said, I don't blame the bison, I blame myself. And Biggie said, what is the animal that could be most dangerous that looks docile? Yeah. And somebody said, Dave said kangaroo.
Because they'll box you. Yeah. They know how to box. They take boxing lessons.
They do. And, well, if Bugs Bunny's taught us anything, the kangaroo is not.
Like, what is it? The koala bear looks cuddly, but it really has, like, long claws, and doesn't it carry some kind of disease?
The koala does. Yeah. I don't know about that.
I've always thought they were up there,
claws.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, the panda, I don't know if they'll attack. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
And the polar bear really is a beautiful creature.
True.
Mm-hmm. But, boy, it'll rip you apart.
That's the one that's like, they even say the polar bear's like meaner than the grizzly, right?
The
like,
worst.
Correct.
The worst.
Yeah, the polar bear just murders you.
I love the advice that if you are in some very cold climate and you come into contact with a polar bear, it is going to be aggressive and try to kill you no matter what. So what you have to do is peel off layers of clothing as you run from it, hoping that it'll stop and sniff your underwear or whatever. Mm-hmm. But then you're going to think
I'm stupid,
but you're going to be naked.
You have to run across the rest of the glacier without clothes on.
Yeah, then you're naked on the glacier.
Circle.
Yeah, you are. You're going to be naked.
And in 1,000 years, they'll find your naked body frozen in the ice.
And imagine the size of your.
And you'll still look good too, because you'll
preserved.
Preserved.
Yeah.
But you're.
Yeah.
You know what I would do? I would, when I knew I was going to freeze, I'd go ahead and cover my junk so that maybe they couldn't pry my hands off.
His hands are frozen to his penis.
Yeah.
What was he doing on this glacier? This is weird, man.
Die with your junk covered.
I would.
I would go that way anyway.
I'd go fig leaf. Yes, just before you're going to pack. If you know it, put your hands over your junk.
What are you doing? Protecting myself.
Protect it, so when whoever finds you. This is the cop who describes what happened with the other police officer being punched by the runaway kangaroo.
In accordance with best practices by the handlers, the officers actually just grabbed it by the tail and they were able to safely keep her contained in the area. Only one of the officers was actually struck in the face during the apprehension, but he'll be just fine and we won't be continuing the investigation.
That's Chris.
Nice.
Whoa.
Talk about a run-on sentence. That was good.
Yeah, he did real well with that. That's Chris Brulio.
Was he a Mountie? Was he in his red jacket?
Yes. Yes, he
Loved
was.
the Mounties.
Punched in the face by a runaway escaped kangaroo. Today, too, this is
in Canada.
In Canada. Yeah, from the zoo. A bit of an animal report here. I don't know if you heard about this woman who was paddleboarding near the Bahamas in the Bahamas near a resort when a shark attacked her and killed her. And she was on her honeymoon. It was awful.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, I didn't hear.
Yeah, it was terrible. She's from Boston, and she was down on her honeymoon, and she disappeared, and they weren't sure what had happened, and it turned out to be a shark attack. And they were saying last night, I was watching this on the news, and they said that the shark attacks in the Bahamas and the Caribbean are way up this year, and they don't know why. They're not sure why there are so many. But there was a woman that lost her leg, and another, like a college student, had been bitten recently.
Are all of these surfers?
Not
I don't
all.
think you surf in the Bahamas.
She was a paddleboarder.
Paddleboarder.
Yeah,
that's right. There's no waves.
None
there.
of them are surfers, and so this woman.
They don't get tasty waves.
No,
but you go out. That's in the deeper water. Yeah, a little bit.
I guess.
Are we sure it wasn't a barracuda?
No.
I mean, I bet there may have been injured, but the beaches are pristine.
Beaches are open.
Yeah, they're open.
We had
at the Atlantis.
We did have a paddleboarding accident. A bather was injured. These beaches are open. Weather's beautiful. Come on down to the Bahamas.
Bahama breeze on us.
That's what the
first Bahama Mama is on us.
Yes, that's what the mayor was saying down in the Bahamas. The woman's paddleboard came back, paddleboat, and her husband was like, "Where is she?" She was not on it anymore.
Because normally, I've done a few, like maybe 3 times in my life, I've gone stand-up paddleboarding. And in the United States, when you do it, and when I have done it, the people who rent you the paddleboard, because we don't own them, they just say, hey, tether it to your ankle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
And the one time we did it in the Caribbean, they were like, you don't have to tether it to your ankle.
They're a little more laid back.
Very laid
They're
back.
a little laid back there.
They said, you want a life jacket? I was like, nah.
Nah.
He said, all right, have fun.
Don't worry about it.
See you in an hour.
That was, you recall, Chris Demm and I went scuba diving, and we were so shady about the way we got the license back here in the United States.
We got certified at the YWCA.
That's right.
YWCA, and 6 months of training was compressed to about 3 days. And we went to a rock
At the YW.
At the YW, and then to a rock quarry, which was that was a pretty scary
That was a horrible day.
dive. Cold water at a rock quarry. And
But the day was like 105.
yeah, unbelievably hot, but the water was so cold we had to have wetsuits on. Anyhow, we get down to the Bahamas. They look at the license that we present them, and they're like, golly, I never seen anything like that. Well, have fun.
Tanks are on the boat.
What's the W stand for?
Have a clue. Didn't have a clue. They're like, I don't like the signature on this thing, man. Whew.
Hey, Bobby,
Had no idea.
ever seen one of these?
Had no idea.
All right, $80.
All right, let's do it. Let's go.
So I suppose it doesn't surprise me that in the Bahamas, where the rules I think are a little more relaxed, they would have floated back without her because normally she would have been tethered to it.
It did. That's right. California Chris, you want to comment on this woman killed by a shark in the Bahamas? Go ahead.
Yeah, hey guys, tragic story, but my coworker was actually at that same resort and on a boat ride with that lady the day before she was married, 2 days before she was
That's a better
attacked.
brush with death.
And obviously he didn't realize it until the story broke. But there is a private island for that resort, that Sandals Resort, just about a mile offshore. So a lot of people take the paddle boards and go back and forth, and that's what she was doing when she was attacked by the shark.
Man,
Poor
Wedding.
thing.
boy, the day after her wedding. Man, that's awful.
Yeah.
How horrible for her husband. That's terrible. And Chris Demm's right. That's a better brush.
To call back to an earlier segment about B.B. Shea's brush with death that really wasn't.
Did you hear about B.B. Shea's brush? He went to a movie and had to leave early. That's the long and short.
Because a guy got popcorn.
Yep. Thank you, California.
And he choked on the kernel?
No. He
No.
saw a guy that looked sketchy. The guy went to get popcorn, came back 10 minutes later with the popcorn. B.B. Shea said, I don't like the looks of this. Let's
No.
go. And he calls it a near-death experience.
What was he on?
That's what Chris Demm said. We don't know.
That's what I would think.
We don't know what was going on with him.
The interesting thing, because I've showed you guys pictures of, I have a friend, we went to school together, and he goes to the Bahamas 4 or 5 times a year, and he dives with sharks.
That's right.
And I've shown you where they just swim by him, but he's 40 feet underwater.
Yeah.
Maybe you're much, much safer there.
Well, if you believe
Then when
John,
you're at the surface.
because they see whatever they think it's a
shadow.
seal or
Think
whatever,
it's food.
and they come up and get it. Interestingly, when I Googled this story about the woman, and I typed in on Google the word woman. Now, the first thing that came up, of course, it autofilled to woman naked. That's my own personal history. Fine.
You're an algorithm.
Okay. But the third thing that came up was woman killed by shark in the Bahamas. I mean, it's that people are that interested in it, I guess. So the algorithm came in.
Not to be gruesome, but there was some of her left, right?
There
was?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Was there?
They found the body. Yeah,
They did?
Yes, but she had such trauma to her midsection, and she bled out, and that was it. Yeah.
Oh.
But they did. Yeah, they had. her.
They didn't eat her.
No, because what does
Did she
Biggie?
just bleed to death?
Biggie
Yeah.
always says they don't really like you.
No, that's always been the thing.
Biggie knows.
They taste you.
It's like taking a bite of something bitter. They just try it and they go, ugh.
But we should be better tasting than that, shouldn't we?
Maybe through the years, now that we're eating more processed foods, we've gotten
It's all processed.
saltier tasting.
So the
Yeah,
seal,
saltier and sweeter.
Yeah.
the seal they like, the human they don't.
Don't care for.
I guess that's right.
Seals eat fish.
There's another story involving an aquatic creature, a teenager, 18-year-old Jacob Eggington. Now, he's from Perth, Australia, and he was trying to get a seashell, as he was walking the beach for his 2-year-old niece. He thought she might like it, so he picked it up and put it in his pocket. When he brought it out of his pocket, a small blue octopus crawled out of the shell. Now, that small blue octopus, and we've talked about them before, is one of the most deadliest creatures in the whole wide world. Okay?
They're gorgeous.
Yes.
They're beautiful little animals.
And small, but a tiny bit of its venom could kill certainly a toddler or even the 18-year-old. The 18-year-old was bitten in the leg. Here's his brother.
And as soon as he saw the octopus, he yelled really loud. I grabbed the baby. That's probably one of the more traumatic thoughts, to think what could have happened. So in the same way, He did get bit, but he also probably saved one of his nieces or nephews' lives.
They rushed him to the hospital. They called 000, which is what you do in Australia.
Okay.
And they got there in time and saved his life, but he's still in the hospital. And he was bitten in the leg, a tiny bite after he dropped it onto his leg. And it's this really small octopus. I saw a picture of it.
Yeah.
The woman...
Was it hiding in a shell?
Yes, it was in the shell. Right. So I guess it was in there and fell out of the shell in his pocket.
How big was this creature?
I mean, a couple inches. It was really, really small.
That's Australia for you.
Anything can kill you.
Water or land.
Seashells can kill you.
Yes. And in fact, we have an expert on octopi. She studied them her whole life. And she says they're all over Perth. She will not go in the water without boots on. She said, I refuse it because they're so prevalent here. She always walks in with...
Like with water booties?
Water booties on, always. And she says there's only one thing you can do if you're bit.
And when they do bite, then that can be fatal within half an hour.
Keep still is what she says.
Keep still.
Keep still and try not to let your heart pump blood.
Oh, that's bad news for you.
Yeah.
My blood pressure.
Whew. Through the roof.
Get the pressure up. You see something.
Get bit by one of those, it won't matter anymore.
If my blood's up, we got trouble. This kid survived. He's 18. Thank goodness he made it. The brother said, proceed with caution.
Collecting shells, although something that we might think is really fun, maybe proceed with a lot of caution.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you have to. What else
can you do?
What else can you do, right?
When you look at a regular octopi, it's the little... The teeth are way up inside, between all those tentacles.
In the center.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the center.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it really has to be on you to get to you to bite you, doesn't it?
It's surprising to me, yeah.
Does it stick to you with the tentacles and then release the tooth?
Push itself down on there?
I guess that's what it would be. Exactly.
Because I'm sure it was terrified.
It's completely.
You're in a kid's pocket.
I saw a thing last night of a woman who she had a possum up in her Christmas tree.
Oh,
Possum.
Possum. She has no idea how it got there, but she was terrified. And
Indoors,
and she's young. You can tell by her voice she's young. So she did what any young person would do. She put this on TikTok and said,
"Scream later.
Someone please help me."
I am literally freaking out right now. I have no idea how this possum got in my house and up into my tree. And I'm trying to get him out, but it will not let me. And I just don't know what to do. I don't know how I got in here. I don't leave my doors open. Somebody help.
We don't know. We don't know what happened.
Is that how,
we have no
is that
idea.
how TikTok works?
Yes. You put it on TikTok and say, somebody help me.
Help.
What am I supposed to do?
Does TikTok man show up and save the day?
Yeah, has to. But
you just wait for the comments, right?
We
You have
hope.
to sit, you and the possum wait for comments.
what do you do? Call animal control.
I'm waiting to see what to do with you.
You got it. I did see. Now I saw the video, and you see this face of a possum like buried deep in the tree and poking its face out.
I'll just take the broom and push it towards the door.
I don't think I would do that.
Try to get it out.
No, because I think
It's too unpredictable.
it could go somewhere else.
Unless
your
you're
house.
like got hockey player skills and can really stick handle that thing out the door.
Well, who do you
What about a box or a bucket to try to coax it into the bucket and take it out?
slide it out?
Yeah,
if it's on the
floor.
floor.
It was like high up in the. It was like 3/4 up in the tree. So it's probably 5 or 6 feet off the ground, 4 feet off the ground.
And if you start moving the tree, the animal will probably
jump out. And I just don't think. I think I would do what she did. Go on TikTok. Yeah. Otherwise, I wouldn't know what. I wouldn't.
Can
know
you
what
just? I mean, I don't know. Every house is different. I don't know if you can secure that room, lock doors to it, and call the pest control man.
Yeah, but it looked like it was in her living room.
If they don't come running, though.
It takes at least an hour. I've had 2 bats in the house, and each time it took an hour to an hour and a half.
Call the non-police emergency line, and they say call the pest control.
We called 911. You know our policy.
Yes.
Call 911 immediately, which is what we did when the bat got in our house, and 911 said, "Don't bother us with this.
Not an emergency.
We have a pest control person." They did get us in touch with the pest control person, and they're on 24 hours a day.
County person.
Is that county?
It was county. And then the second time, the guy left his card with us and said, "Look, if another bat gets in your house, just call my number and this number, and they'll bring you through."
Wow, that's good.
Yeah. So anyhow, I don't know what happened to her, but she had a possum up in her tree.
Got a tree last night. I shook the hell out of it. Christmas tree.
Oh, you did, just in case.
I shook the hell out of it after that praying mantis story.
Yeah. Oh, you weren't here
Not
for
that
that.
I don't like a praying mantis, but
The woman bought a real tree, and it had a nest of
an egg
of praying mantises. and they hatched overnight, and there were hundreds and hundreds.
Whoa.
And they were all over her tree.
Yeah, they hatch in warm air, so when you take them inside in the heat,
that's right.
It hatch and
bingo.
hundreds and hundreds.
They're not ready to hatch until the weather gets warmer, but when they go inside, they think it is warmer.
They think it's spring.
And they come out.
Crazy.
In fact, some places have tree shakers where you put it in and it shakes them to get rid of the loose needles, and in case there are bugs, that wakes them up and makes them come out so you can see them then. Isn't that crazy?
I shook the hell out of it.
I don't blame you.
I bet the neighbors were like, look at that drunk fool. Just out there shaking his Christmas tree on the lawn. What's he doing?
I didn't care.
He didn't care.
He's not coming in the house.
He didn't care.
How tall was your tree?
Not real tall. Probably 7 feet.
Oh, yeah. That's not bad.
When are you decorating? Decorate the night of?
Lights on it now.
Lights on?
But the rest of it's not.
Yeah, I know either. We got the lights on
Bedtime.
it. Yeah. Well, we put the lights on it, but ours comes pre-lit. Okay. But we have not put the ornaments back up yet, and we just can't seem to get motivated. The ornaments.
It's the worst part of Christmas. Putting stuff up
and
taking it down.
I completely agree with you. But the woman, by the way, I thought maybe the possum was in the tree when she bought it. But she said, I don't leave my doors open. I don't know how this possum got in here. I wonder if it came into the house.
Is it big?
No, it's fairly small. It was
it's probably wedged in there somewhere.
You think it was
when she bought it?
When she bought it.
Probably way in the middle.
But wouldn't you think when they were like roping it to her car or whatever, it would have run off? I think it came in.
He might have been too scared. He's playing possum.
I think it got in the tree. I think it came into her house and jumped up into the tree. That's what I really
think it played possum the whole time.
Just clung to
shut
it?
up and clung in there and just fell asleep. And
there was a carpet cleaner was in a woman's home in Ohio and saw an owl inside the Christmas tree and took a baby owl and took a picture of it and then got the owl out. He was able to take the tree, shake it, and then move the owl outside.
Owls are cool.
He took a picture of the owl for the woman who owned the house.
Wonder if the baby owl can survive on its own.
He's hoping. He got it out to the woods, but who knows at that point.
You don't have a lot of babies this time of year.
I know, it's surprising.
That's not how that nature works, is it?
He said baby, maybe just a small owl.
Oh, you're young.
The best call we ever got on an item in a Christmas tree, we were talking about bats at one point. A bat got into my house, and a woman from the great state of Virginia, that's Chris Demm's home state, called and said that a bat was in their Christmas tree.
In 1969 in Virginia.
Chris Demm just woke up.
Yeah, for real.
How was that, darling?
That's a Vietnam tree right there. Vietnam era.
Let me light up a Marlboro and pop open a Coca-Cola.
Go ahead, Mom.
Go ahead, Mom.
Okay, so we got our live tree and put it together, and that night my aunt was spending the night, and that's back when you had the updos and my mom was doing her hair at the kitchen table.
Mm-hmm.
There's 6 children, junior high and down, and all of a sudden a bat flew out of the tree into my aunt's hair. We are all jumping up and down like pogo sticks. And once my mom realizes what it is and tells my aunt, she jumps up and runs into the coat closet with the bat in her hair. And she's screaming so loud she can't hear that we're telling her the bat is in there with her. It was the funniest thing. We talked about that for so many years. My aunt is dead now, but that was the most hilarious story I have ever heard in my life.
They locked her in that closet for Christmas.
They had to. Oh, my gosh. It is still the funniest thing ever. I can see. Oh, and her hair was red. And it was hilarious.
I have that picture. That would be incredible. That's a Virginia bat.
The worst of bats.
That's the worst bat there is, a Virginia bat right in her hair.
There's nothing more sanitary than doing your hair at the kitchen table.
I know. An updo. An updo at the kitchen table.
Rabies for Christmas.
That's right. Oh, how wonderful. And I bet back then she didn't even get the rabies shot or anything. She had a bat in her hair. That's right.